All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us again for our Friday afternoon iGyro training sessions. This week, we're going to go through reporting. So a few weeks ago, we went through our mail merge module as part of Gyro, and reporting is very similar to mail merges, so you'll notice a lot of similarities in how we use it. So we'll find the reports on the admin panel here. Sorry, on the reports button there, would make more sense. Okay, so when we were looking at mail merges, we chose the mail merge option, but this time we'll be on the Excel report section. So when you get Gyro, there'll be a series of reports that we've already created and have available to you, and we've identified the most useful ones to you in this list here, labeled 1 to 9. So we'll just start by going through some of these and how they work. So we select this first one here. You'll see all the data is shown on the right-hand side here. So is the name of the report. This is a template file that's used for the report. And this is all the data that can be used inside the report. So each one of these fields is pulled from the database and can be brought into the report. Down towards the bottom here, we have a report criteria section. And this enables you to choose which jobs are shown inside the report. So you can specify certain tasks and give it values based on dates. We'll generate this one that's saying, show us all jobs in the report that have had a contract signed task after the 30th of the 3rd, 2013, but it's less than the 1st of the 7th, 2017. To run that report, we'll click on the Generate Report button. This pops up in Excel and it's nicely formatted data. So you might find if you've got a number of sales reps here, at the moment all of these jobs are assigned to nobody, but if you have 2 or 3 or more sales reps in your business, they can be grouped by the sales rep, and this pie chart will actually reflect the jobs that each salesperson has got across the line there. This next one is just a simple slab footings down report. So the report is saying, give us all slab downs between these 2 date periods. It's only got a very small amount of fields that are available to this report. And that's just a simple table. BA and estimating workflow, if we generate this one, I don't think this database has much detail to show in this report, but you can see you can use any feature in Excel, so you can make the report look like anything you like. So this is useful if you've got a lot of jobs on the go, and it would actually color code each of the jobs based on the stage it is in construction or prior to construction. Right, we've got a project manager report here. So if we generate this one, this is a current jobs report. So we'll show you all jobs that are currently on site with a project manager. So it gives you a little bit of detail about the job, the site address, the client name, job number, a primary contact, and the value of the job. So you'll notice over here that this is grouped by the project manager. So this is just the initials of the project manager. So if we have a look over this right-hand side, you can see that Tim Demo has a total of $1.2 million worth of jobs out of the total 3 million for this business. Now, one thing I'll show you here, you can see that this report has a lot of extra fields added in. So you can easily add an extra field in by clicking the blue plus button. Now, if I generate that again, You'll see here that all the fields that have been added into the report have a little tick next to them on this right-hand side. So here's a field here that hasn't been used, and we can easily just drag that into the report. All right, and that'll show us the date and time that the contract was signed for that particular job. An outstanding maintenance report. So we generate that one. That should show us all outstanding maintenance items that are available in this database. So we can see here they're grouped again by project manager and job number. So we've only got 2 jobs in the system with an outstanding maintenance problem. You can see when they were created and a brief description of what that maintenance issue was. All right, so I've got a prelim service fee paid report here. So again, you just make sure you look at the report criteria fields at the bottom and just make sure you adjust the dates accordingly. All right, so this is showing us all jobs where initial deposit has been received or prelim service fee paid has been received within those date periods. So you can see this report doesn't have a contract price on it. We could easily add that if we needed to, just by adding one in here. We'll add the contract price, generate that again. Click on the report and drag in that field. So we drag it on the right-hand side, it'll give us some calculation options. So here it's saying we'll have a sum of the contract price, or we could change that with the value field settings option. We might change that to an average. It'll give us the average contract price for all of these jobs. Here we've got a sales lead report. I'll just generate that one. So what that'll show us is all jobs we've entered into the system but haven't been marked as not proceeding yet. This first column here, we've got a last contact date, so you can see when it was the last time that one of your staff contacted this client. So very useful in your business if you'd like to try and keep on top of our clients you might have contacted for a while. You could look them back up in here and touch base with them again. It's important to note that all of these reports are relying heavily on the task list in Gyro. So the more often you use the task list in Gyro, the better. Make sure you put all of your jobs in, all of the tasks, and it means in the coming months and years, you'll have some great data to report on. So we've got anticipated margins here. This database isn't linked up to DataBuild, which is what we're using to get a lot of the detail. So it will look like this, but we need to get some data about the margin at the orders checked period of that job and some of the actual costs. So we'll come to that in a future training session. And the last on our list here is the sales projected revenue report. What this is showing is all jobs that we've got active in the system from first meeting through to contract signed. And we have some probabilities here of these jobs proceeding. So what we've indicated here is that if we've got a first meeting client, we've got a 10% probability that they'll proceed through to contract. So what we're doing here is just working on averages and saying that we've got a a total here, got a grand total of 16,800,000. And that's based on the probability of proceeding for each of these jobs. So once a client reaches a prelim service fee paid, we've got a 20% probability that they'll progress through to a contract. Once the contract's been ordered, we've got an 80% chance. Now, these values here, they're based on industry averages. So you might find that your business is higher or lower than these percentages. And we do have some settings that will enable you to change that. But what you first might want to do is maybe look through some historical data if you've been using Gyro for a while and try and identify if that percentage is appropriate or not. So what we could do here is make use of one of these other reports very quickly. So use the slab down report. You'll notice here that you can't save or delete these reports. So these are system reports that you don't have access to, but you can modify the fields as a one-off report just to get some data out. So we added a field in here. We might want the contract sign task. And we'll look at the prelim service fee paid. But saying does not equal blank is just meaning that a prelim service fee paid has occurred on that job. All right, let's generate that one. Report, and if we add in the contract signed option here, okay, so we're doing it just a count of the contract signed. So it puts a number 1 in this column for every contract signed job. So that'll give us a total at the very bottom here to say there's 10 jobs that have had a contract signed out of a possible 31. All right, so we do 10 divided by 31. So we're looking at 32% here. So much higher than that initial 20% of that, as that industry average indicates here. So if we want to change that, we can do that from the iGyro portal. So you log into your Gyro portal. Under admin, choose group settings. Under global settings, we have an option here to change the prelim service fee paid probability. So we could change that to 32%, and we'll save that. All right, if we generate that report again now, see here that the probability has changed to 32%, as we've indicated, and all these values have changed to reflect that. Got a much healthier pipeline there, just based on now a 32% chance of these prelim service fee paid jobs moving through. Now, we've just seen how we can quickly modify an existing report just to get a quick bit of detail out, but you can make a brand new one. So you can create one from scratch by clicking on the new report button at the top right-hand corner. Or if you found one that you were happy with, it looks similar to what you needed, you could click on it and duplicate it. So if I duplicated this one by right-clicking, click on duplicate. Okay, you can see that the save button is now active. So we can make any changes to this, save it, and that'll exist in your database at that point. So you can always come back to that report. We'll relabel it. Now, the same as mail merges, you'll remember that we've got this little cloud button here. So this is indicating this is a brand new template file and you need to upload that to the cloud. So once we've made any changes to this report template and we're happy with it, we'll upload that so that all the other staff in your business can access this report. All right, so I'll add some extra tasks in. Add a slab down and a roof on. Let's change this to a roof on as well. So we just want all jobs where a roof on has occurred. We'll remove this line. Alrighty, so let's generate that one. So we can remove items off here that we're not interested in just by removing the contract price, or unticking this box here for that. And we can add in those new tasks. All right, so you just save that document. So you've made changes to it. And close that again. And you might find you'd like to add some more report fields. You can easily do that. But one thing we haven't touched on is this working days between. So this is a quick way of calculating the time between two different tasks. So we might want to find how long it's taken for each of your jobs to go from a slab down state to roof on. And so we're just indicating the time between those two dates. These tick boxes will account for various things in the business, like adverse weather, public holidays, on hold periods. Save that report and click on generate. Over this side here, we've now got a working days between task slab down and task roof on. So we add that over to the right-hand side here. It'll allow us to do some calculations. So here you'll see that in the values section. So it's summing, it's adding all of those working days together, which is not very useful. So we'll change that, hit the value field settings. And we might like an average. So let's do an average again. So it's telling us here that we've got an average of 31.4 days between slab down and roof on. Now this being Excel as well, again, you can use all of the features in Excel. So if we wanted to do some formatting on this just to make it easy for anomalies to stand out, we could use some of these conditional formatting options. So color scales is a good one. So we pick one of these, it'll indicate the highest values are being highlighted closer to a red color, and the lowest values are being indicated in a bluer color. So we've got the red and green scale too, which might be more appropriate. So the greener this is, the better. So it's only 15 days between slab down and roof on for that particular job. All right, so if we save that Excel report, it should actually save all of this formatting as well for us for the next time. So we generate that again now. Straight away, it's already got our color coding, and we didn't have to go through and modify this report to get the data and visualization that we needed. So as mentioned before, once you're ready and you're happy with that report and you're happy with how the template looks, we can click on this little cloud button that will upload it to the iGyro cloud and make that available to the rest of your business. Cloud's now gone to indicate that it is up in the cloud and it's the correct version. And now whenever anyone in your business logs back into Gyro, they'll be prompted with there's new stationery for download. If they click yes to that, they'll download that new stationery report. All right, so that concludes the session for this afternoon. I'll hang on for a moment just to see if there's any questions that might arise. If there be any questions, so we'll wrap it up there and we'll see you again next week. Thanks for listening, everyone.